Hello, my name is Joshua Nieslaus, and I will be presenting to you my project on utopian societies, using one of the theories we've learned in class. Utopian Society Done the Right Way, by Joshua Nieslaus. Let us start with the world that could be. The world could be beautiful, could be peaceful, altruistic, intelligent, and just overall stunning. But the key question here is, how? How do we do all these amazing things? Well, the first step is start from what we know. We know from just about anything we ever do, as human beings, as individuals, that human beings and individuals love to feel good. But more importantly, when it comes to this, we want to feel positive. Now, in this scenario, we have to seize the opportunity to make a change. Imagine, you are leaving Earth to go to a utopian society in Mars, where you are probably separated from your family, your friends, your work, the life you're accustomed to, and all these ambivalent emotions are up in the air. From my standpoint and from the theory I'm going to propose, this cannot be. We need to take the opportunity to start feeling positive. And the best way to feel positive is by satisfying the most basic needs of individuals and human beings. I propose to you Maslow's theory of hierarchy in order to sustain a utopian society. Now you're thinking, wait, what does motivational needs have to do with creating set rules and building blocks in order to create a controlled environment? Well, let's just say if each individual was as prime as they could be in a society, then why do we need set building blocks and roadblocks and pathways that aren't leading to the overall goal of being happy? Isn't that the point of utopian society? In order for perfection to rise, we must, of course, be happy. We must satisfy all basic needs to drive into the state of motivation known as self-actualization. But how do we get people through all the stages? What are all the stages? Well, there's bread and butter, physiological. It's the lowest of the needs. It's the need for food, water, sleep, and sex. There's safety, which is fourth on the tier. Safety not only being for your physical well-being, but for internal well-being. An example would be having enough money to buy yourself food, or buy yourself, I guess you could say, sex, or other things that are considered physiological. Love and belonging. According to the pyramid, it's social, but, same concept. It started on this list, and this is the part where people seek love and they seek friendship. But it's also, sex could also be considered physiological here, as well as love and belonging. Esteem. It's the second on the pyramid. This is the need for self-respect and esteem of others. A popular example is a career choice or a career path, where you've satisfied all other three needs, and now you can focus on bettering yourself as an individual to make a difference, but not necessarily completely there. Because that is where the fifth step, and it is the big one, literally. Self-actualization. The concept of self-actualization is the key role in manifesting the society, manifesting the beauty of our utopian society. But how will self-actualization create a utopian society done, well, the right way? And the right way being the moral way. What is self-actualization? Self-actualization, defined by Maslow, has this humongous paragraph, which will take me a minute alone to read, but it is actually very well written and very well thought out. But in simple terms, it's the full development of human potential. What a man can be, he must be, and this is what we may call self-actualization, quoted from Maslow himself. Characteristics of self-actualized people. There are several great characteristics, but we only name the top 5 qualities for our purpose. That is, human kinship, humility and respect, ethics and values, acceptance, and freshness of appreciation. Now, all the qualities of being a self-actualized individual are great. They are all very positive qualities, and there seems to be no negative downside. But in our sake, where we want to form a society built of nothing but self-actualized people, we have to satisfy all other basic forms of motivation. But as soon as we get there, there are these great qualities in which people, there are positive qualities that people can build upon each other with. There is no negativity holding another individual back, but just constantly giving each other positive experiences to create more and more positive experiences. Therefore, creating a utopia based off the people for the people. Perfect people, perfect society. A society where people are motivated on their own without the worry of covering their basic needs. Where everyone strives to be the best person they can just for the sake of just being. Where free will is the drive that will lead Utopia to its highest potential. Because all other basic forms of motivation are covered, known as deficiency motivations, because you're deprived of these things. Once you reach a self of meta-motivation, known as self-actualization, you're not just living for yourself anymore. You've come to the point where you are free and desire to live for the sake of others. Where your desire is not to live for you, but to help everyone else live for each other, which is a beautiful experience that will in turn create nothing but a positive society. But getting to the top isn't so easy. The main issue is actually satisfying all of their basic needs of the hierarchy. To follow the model of theory step by step will lead the society to set its priorities from the bottom up. So unless we for sure have everything else covered from the bottom, then we can never get to this point of self-actualization. And as society progresses, in turn we little by little start achieving these things. But if we start from the get-go by making sure all our resources are planned out, because I assume we're still on Earth before we can even begin to set up this utopia, then it will most likely work. As common sense dictates, food and then the rest. So unless everything's sorted out first, our plan is pretty much futile. Problems with my job as a psychologist in such a scenario. As a psychologist, I can work with what individual society can offer me, but limitations of resource could adversely impact my work, because I can only plan so much of what is to occur on a foreign planet. But assuming that it is a clear and cut way for every human being to have food, water, shelter, safety, love, and even a sense of self-esteem, this theory should run smoothly. Is it really the best? Over time, civilization with empirical rules eventually fall. Man becomes evil because of such self-disparity. Possibly the lack of being able to satisfy the most basic needs. In a society where everyone should be happy, then why not make them happy? In conclusion, self-actualized people have the means of making happiness for not only themselves but for others. Happy free will people can make more happy free will people. This theory would be best because it doesn't rely on control, but free will satisfaction that only betters as time goes by. Well, that is my presentation on utopian society using Maslow's hierarchy of motivation. I hope you understand that being a self-actualized person doesn't necessarily mean, rather not being self-actualized, excuse me, by having everyone being a self-actualized person in a perfect world, then everything else should be perfect. Now, this is just in theory, but I would assume it's best because of its moral and ethic values of an individual still being an individual, well restrained and control, or rather just basic satisfaction.